Hello everybody, my name is Blue, and I'm bringing you guys viewer replay cast number 76, and this is your video for the week. And yeah, I actually gotta change a few settings before we get started, but this is a viewer replay cast, and as always with viewer replay cast, I will not tell you guys who sent it in until the very end, because the general assumption is the person who sent it in is probably on the team that won, and we don't want no spoilers here. So for your benefit and for the fun of both me and you, I'll tell you guys nothing about who sent this game in. So there, no fun for anybody. No fun for anybody. So as we can see, this fancy new little overlay that they got on the whole entire drafting stage, we can just jump straight into the game and start talking about things, because actually it's not drafting, it's all pick. So this is an all pick game. And we can see everybody pick their heroes up. If it was drafting, we'll see the bands on the left side, and I actually recently saw that in one of the international matches that I watched, so I'm slightly adjusting to it, but it's fine. It's fine. It's all good. See chat. Ooh, I can see the chat. Cool. But yeah, I'm expecting some exciting things for no apparent reason, mainly because I go into every single game of Dota expecting exciting things. And also, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but all the videos this week should be in 1920 by 1080p as far as the resolution or screen size goes. So if you guys have that kind of monitor, or just want to watch things in true HD, finally I have a monitor that fits that aspect ratio, which is an aspect ratio of 16 by 9, whereas my old monitor, which I still do use right now, or which I'm using as my second monitor now, was a 16 by 10. But if you guys don't care about all that, don't worry. I mean, you might, it probably doesn't bother you that much. It didn't bother me that much, but hey, I had the monitors. And I actually heard a complaint a few times where people wanted me to change the black bars that they kept seeing. I was like, ah, yeah, it's my monitor. So here you go, guys. Congratulations. Cool Blue has done changed. I change for no one, unless everybody needs me to change, then I change. Actually, I don't change for no one. Nope. I change only when I see it necessary. There. Yeah, that's my excuse. So anyway, we got this game going on. I just want to stare at this pudge really fast, because I don't think it looks all that cool, but I mean, it doesn't look pretty at all. Like, I don't think it looks cool, but I think that's the point. It's like a mini pudge. What is a mini pudge? I just want to see what it does when it's flying, because I don't know how it looks. So anyway, outside of all that craziness and nonsensicalness, let's get into the casting stages. So let me go and introduce all the players. Starting off on the side of the Radiant on this Shadow Demon, we have Pretzel playing him. Moving over to this Doombringer, we see Soul Reapers on Doom. On this Nyx Assassin, we see Forgus on him. And on this Bloodseeker, which actually I haven't seen a Bloodseeker played in a little bit. Like, just a normal game, I mean. I've seen a Bloodseeker picked up a lot in the ability draft because he's commonly there, but we see Deer on that Bloodseeker, see how he does. And on this Viper who's playing safe lane, we see Ors on him. Moving to the side of the Dire, on this Wraith King, we have the one, the only Storm. And on this Bounty Hunter, we see Casey on that Bounty. And on this Cuddle, or Keeper of the Light, we see Princess Kasulia Bahana Homuk, whatever that means. And on this Abaddon, oh my bad, not Abaddon, Terrorblade. It clearly says Terrorblade right there. Don't worry guys, Cool Blue's clearly drunk, which I don't drink, so he's clearly, something's wrong with him. We see on this Terrorblade, Bellind. And on the Storm Spirit, we see Mix Idiot. Yeah, Mix Idiot. I don't think you're an idiot, Storm. I think you're just very, very derpy. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. I'll stick to it. And speaking of opinions, my best opinion is that Storm Spirit should do very well versus Bloodseeker mid. I've actually seen this. I've actually seen melees go mid a little bit more often than not as of recent. In the few matches that I've watched of, like, you know, just random pubs here or there, and also in the few matches I watched in the international. I can't tell you guys exactly what it was, but it was a Storm versus some other melee person. I forgot who it was. But the main thing is that Storm should be perfectly fine in this lane. Bloodseeker can get his last hits, and he should be sustainable on the other side, because he does have that stout shield, and his thirst, or his bloodbath, my bad, should be able to keep him nice and healed up, despite all the harassment he's going to face. Speaking of harassment, we got Abaddon already popping that transformation, Metamorphosis, just to push back these guys a little bit and just give himself a little more extra damage. Typically you see Abaddon's, or not, Terrorblades try to save that for level 2 or level 3. So they can actually go for a kill, where they have 1 point instead of reflection. But that was before the nerf, when reflection was still 5 seconds, which is ridiculous. I mean, just it's crazy. 5 seconds for a level 1 slow that slows you for 50%. That is ridiculous. Sorry. Alright, looks like I'm gonna have to put my overlay back up. Anywho. Let's see. Just for your benefit, I'll do this. Hopefully it's not too much in the way, but it should help with keeping spoilers at the minimum. I am a big stickler on keeping spoilers at a minimum. This is what I hate about the new replay system, because when it pops up like way down there, so you guys won't be able to see like the progress of the XP, but I'll tell you guys whenever that pops up. But it will cover the time, so that's actually going to work out perfectly fine. Alright, cool. Continue on about the game though. Viper down bottom on the safe lane. I do not necessarily like this. I think he should have went mid, as opposed to having the Bloodseeker go mid. But that's, I mean, honestly, Viper doesn't contribute much to a team outside of the mid game, so it doesn't really matter. Whereas Bloodseeker, he has potential to snowball with his thirst and also with his ability to just do so much damage when he gets Blood Rage up to a high level, to where his right click actually means something. So Bloodseeker is going to be very vital, in my honest opinion. Or he's going to be more vital, in my honest opinion, than Viper. But still, on the same token, I don't think Bloodseeker is going to get as much as Viper could have gotten out of his lane. And we got Cuddle taking a bunch of damage on top. First blood does go to the Radiant, and now they're going to go on top of Wraith King, forcing him back a little bit, burning his mana. He's not happy about that. That's like at least 60 mana that he got burned. I think it's what, 5 times his intelligence, which his intelligence is 24, so 24 times 5 is 120, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe 100, nope. I don't know. I mean, I do know, but I can't do math that fast. And we got people messaging me. It's just not optimal time right now. Alright. So, things to talk about in this game though, like I said down bottom, I will prefer to see Viper mid and Bloodseeker go safe lane, especially since it's Terrorblade versus Bloodseeker. Bloodseeker shouldn't actually, wow, okay, Terrorblade actually about to lose his life. He doesn't want to lose his life right now. His transformation, I don't know if it gives him, yeah, it just gives him bonus damage, no extra HP in that aspect. And speaking of extra HP, Cuddle could have used some extra HP up top. He took a lot of damage. Nyx Assassin plus Shadow Demon just forcing his Wraith King all the way back. Cuddle not having the best of times, and I think this would be one of those few games where you can say, yeah, Cuddle's probably not going to be getting Ags at like the 20-25 minute mark. Where sometimes you see support Cuddles get those Ags really early and do quite a bit of damage to everything. But the main thing is that Nyx Assassin's getting levels, Shadow Demon's getting levels as well. The faster Nyx Assassin get levels, the worse it's going to be. And actually, Nyx Assassin's going to go right in, doing a little bit of damage to Wraith King, and Wraith King does officially go down. A DC came out from the Terrorblade down bottom, or down back in his fountain. And they're going to resume the game here. Probably going to wait for him to come back. Be able to see somebody pause again. Don't really know.
Dire's top tower is not on top of things.
But top lane is essentially a shambles. The Wraith King not able to stand up versus the Nyx Assassin plus the Shadow Demon. And like I said before, the more levels Nyx Assassin gets, the bigger of a deal he becomes. And I think that's going to probably seal the fate of the Dire before they wanted to. The only benefit that the Dire really have at this point is they have a bounty hunter who's been doing decently. He's level 2. He's been sharing XP with the Terrorblade, but even still, he's been pretty much more or less unmolested. No offense to anybody who thinks that's a bad word. I meant unbothered down bottom lane, and now he's actually taking a few right clicks coming from Viper. But as soon as Casey on that bounty hunter gets his level 6, the track gold will start flowing in, and that will be vital to these guys coming back to being competitive against this team. Because right now the Radiant are in a really good position. And speaking of being in good position, up top we got Wraith King and these guys having some right click fest. Wraith King and Nyx Assassin have a nice little battle. Nyx Assassin, if he can time it right, he can get a right click, come out on top of him. Actually, no, he doesn't get it. The stun does come through. Nyx Assassin gonna throw out the impale. Perfect time to have a nice little spike carapace, stop on Cuddle on his tracks. Mana goes back to Wraith King, but sadly, he has no ulti available. He loses his life. And now that I see what the Dire are trying to do, I actually really do like it. Meanwhile, we got Bloodseeker versus Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit did get hit with the ulti. Silence does come on top of Storm, so Storm can't zip out. Bloodseeker gonna be able to get the last hit, and there's a Storm Spirit gonna be going down. Well played, coming out from Deer. Just barely enough damage to kill that Storm. Just barely enough. That's only 1 point of Blood Rage, 2 cells, the whole entire 60 seconds that Storm had to stand there and fight. And speaking of standing there and fight, Viper versus Terrorblade. Terrorblade should be able to win this fight because he's allies here. But actually, no, Viper does get the kill on top of Terrorblade, proving to be a little bit too survivable. Viper does go toe-to-toe with his Bloodseeker, or with this Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter not going to be able to do anything except for run away. He's only level 3. And I think Terrorblade being under level is what caused that as well. Meanwhile, top Shadow Demon does officially go down. Wraith King picks up the kill. Now we got Wraith King about to lose his life to Bloodseeker. His ulti is available though, so he will go ahead and get it going through. Coddle is TPing as fast as he possibly can just to help us ally out. Wraith King has a stun available. He's going to look for somebody to toss on to. Going to toss on top of Nyx Assassin, who has his ulti not available for until a few more creeps die. And they're going to go toe-to-toe. See who wins the fight. Storm will be able to throw a nice little stun. Actually, the stun does come through. The silence comes through just in time. Deer going to be able to get that kill. Plus that silence. Nice play from him. Storm Spirit shows up to kill Deer, and Deer does officially go down. Meanwhile, Nyx Assassin got his ulti off just in time. They're going to go for Coddle. I do not like this because there's not enough people here to help him out, and Nyx Assassin is way too low for this to be comfortable. But he's going to go for it anyway. Coddle is an intelligence hero. Coddle does take a lot of damage coming up from that. And actually, Nyx Assassin decides against it. Right clicks a creep and goes back home. I do think that's the safest thing, but if Nyx had the mana, that would have been very nice because, and by that I mean if he was able to pop mana burn plus by Carapace, he might have been able to survive, but you still have to consider the fact that Storm was there, and Storm could have just dropped his Electric Vortex, which would have made Nyx Assassin not do much as far as surviving, you know. So pretty interesting game so far. I like how the Dire, despite the fact that the Radiant have been doing such a good job on top lane, the Dire, of course, keep continuing to fight and actually just continue to rotate. Speaking of rotate, there's no rotation coming through here. Storm Spirit does lose his life. Actually, Bounty did rotate in, but Storm Spirit does lose his life in all the craziness. Nice little defensive disruption coming up for Shadow Demon, and Deer does keep his life intact. And I think this is where you start seeing the snowball roll. Bloodseeker already has himself power treads. Working on probably a Sanji and Yasha next, which is usually what you see Bloodseekers go for from time to time. Nyx Assassin forced to use that ulti once again to run away. And the more Forgets is forced to pop his ulti just to run away, that's the less pressure that the Dire are going to have to feel around the lanes. And that's actually excellent because they have a Bounty Hunter on their side, and they want to apply their own pressure once Bounty hits level 6. The only drawback to all that is that Bounty's not level 6 just yet. He's not even close. He's kind of close. His XP is just hit, it's about 99 XP away from that, and I think that's like 3-4 creeps. Because each creep's like 30 XP or something like that. Maybe 50, I don't really know. I don't remember things, guys. Cool Blue doesn't know things. Just doesn't know things. But the main thing is that Bounty Hunter is not level 6, which is actually a big deal. Doombringer, he's actually not level 6 as well, but he does have a little bit more than everybody else. He has a right click available coming out from those frost attacks. And now we got Bounty Hunter. He is invisible just in time. Sadly, he's not low enough of HP, so Bloodseeker trying to get silence. He does get the silence on top of Storm. Storm going to be forced to go and fight. Kato shows up, gives him more mana. Storm Spirit will be able to drop his abilities in a few seconds, and he does zip forward, goes for a right click. I think that was a bad idea because Kato has no mana for herself, and Viper shows up on the backside, going to make Storm pay for it. Pick the wrong target. Kato would have been a better target. Terrorblade shows up as well just to help out, and looks like Terrorblade, no ulti available at all. There comes the ulti coming out from Shadow Demon. He's going to stop Terrorblade in his tracks, and Terrorblade does officially go down. A very unnecessary death. Came in running as fast as he possibly could. Had no support from his team because his team was a little bit too low on both mana and HP, and that caused his life to be gone. And this is one of those strange games because I haven't seen much Terrorblade play. I gotta be completely honest, but I do know that Terrorblade can just destroy your face. With his three of him, his 2 illusions plus him, and maybe get a Mantis down, just do that much more damage to your face. But he does need those items to actually be effective. His Metamorphosis is really strong from what I understand, and also his Reflection is actually really nice once you get it up and a few punches out of it. Speaking of being really strong, we got Viper trying to force Kato to go back. Kato already using his ulti just to try to get the, might be forced to use Blind Light. Blind Light does come through. Shadow Demon shows up. Those are the poison. There comes ulti from Bloodseeker on the backside. He's going toe-to-toe with Terrorblade. Terrorblade will be losing this fight because there's too many people for the Radiant around him. Eats a tree. Doesn't really matter. Terrorblade loses life once again. Meanwhile, up top, Wraith King and Nyx Assassin going toe-to-toe, just trying to see who can get more last hits and who. And I think Wraith King needs to be very careful. His ulti's up very soon, but he has no mana for a stun. Assuming that he wants to use his ulti, of course. And Kato is not online. Well, now he's online, but Kato was dead for the duration. I'm actually a slight bit concerned because I see Wraith King did in fact pick himself up a Glove of Haste. That could very well spell into a Melnair, and it can also spell into a Hand of Midas. If it is the former instead of the latter, I would like that because I do think that the damage that he can do out, or the damage that Wraith King can put out when he right clicks a lot or faster, is of course a lot higher, and it's really nice just to be able to just crit more often when you have a 15% chance. The faster you attack, the more you crit. True story. True story. Meanwhile, Casey on that bounty hunter is finally level 6. He hit that probably a minute ago. But no track kills as far as I understand it. And I think track kills are what's going to keep the Dire in this. I've stated that before, and I'll state it again. They need to get those track kills online, and need to make sure they keep Nyx Assassin under control. Which, really, they can't. Wraith King can only do but so much. He's a very mana-dependent hero, despite the fact that he is a strength hero. Nyx Assassin has that mana burn, which is really easy to use on somebody like Wraith King. And I think Wraith King, his intelligence gain, is it high? Okay, there we go. Darn it, I'm trying to see his... Wraith King's intelligence gain is 1.6. But despite the fact, Nyx Assassin being able to burn Wraith King's mana is not the most ideal thing in the world for Wraith King, and it's pretty darn annoying. I mean, it's like he has no, or he has mana, but he doesn't have mana. Anyway, Viper Viper getting jumped on. He's getting ganked. Nice little defensive disruption coming up from Shadow Demon, trying to keep his ally alive. Looks like the blind is going to fall on top of Viper. Viper will be losing his life. That's track goal going the way, but a lot of people are going to be dying because of this. Cuddle loses his life. Bounty Hunter forced to run away. Terrorblade shows up. Nice little ulti on top of Bloodseeker, trying to force some more damage on top of him, but not going to be enough. The HP trade was not enough to put Deer down. They do not have enough right click. Terrorblade not able to do anything. His items aren't really all that impressive. I mean, he doesn't even have a poor man shield, which a poor man shield would be nice in this situation because it is something that's cheap that will give him damage, but it's nothing that will really affect him. I'm sorry, it's something that will help him out a lot as far as taking the right clicks and also help out his damage. But his farm is not the most impressive. All he has is, like I said, a magic wand, stout shield, and boots of speed. Not even power charge yet. And I've seen it a few times where Terrorblades, this is like earlier on when Terrorblade first came into Dota 2, where Terrorblades, they built power trades and they built straight into a Yasha, and then afterwards they built a Manta style. Well, okay, that means they built straight into a Manta style. But they built power trades, Manta style, and then they went either whatever the situation called for. Sometimes BKB, sometimes other things. Anyway, Wraith King about to lose his life. Storm, he does have his ulti available, so his ulti will be going through. Nyx Assassin gonna be getting tracked up by Bounty Hunter right off the back. Nice little stun coming up from Wraith King. It looks like a lot of damage coming towards Nyx Assassin. He officially goes down. Track goal going towards these guys. Shadow Demon might be losing his life. Pretzel's on the wrong side of the river. No mana for TP. No TP scroll actually, and actually nothing to do with his life staying alive. He just dies. And I'm sorry guys, those words just fell out of my mouth. But the point I was trying to get at was that Shadow Demon was caught on the wrong side of that field, and he officially dies. Meanwhile, top tower is going to be getting pushed while down bottom. We got Bloodseeker debating on whether to go and help out top or just keep on pushing bottom. He decided to pick himself up a very fast basher, which I'm not the huge fan of. I'm more of a fan of Bloodseeker who decides to go for some movement speed. So I would prefer to see a Yasha or a Drum instead of a Basher right now because I don't think his attack speed is as high as he wants it to be for that Basher to be all that effective. But all that said, it does give him some HP. It also gives him some nice little damage output, so that's going to be great for him. And if he does happen to get a bash on somebody who's trying to TP away, that would be the most ideal situation in the world. Because that is one of Bloodseeker's biggest weaknesses. He says, hey, I have a crap ton of damage, and I'm going to drop my ulti on you so you can't run away. So he drops his ulti, you can't run away, and while he's running up to you, you say, okay, bro, you have no stun, I'll TP out. And then, boom, you get away scotch-free. Meanwhile, Nyx Assassin and Bounty Hunter have a nice little fun going invisible next to each other. Spies among us. And if you guys get that reference, then you deserve a cookie. But if you guys don't get that reference, don't worry. Cool Blue will explain. That was a Team Fortress 2 achievement. I think it was called Spies Among Us. But it's basically if you played a spy and you went invisible and you bumped into another spy who's on the enemy team, and while they were invisible, you got the achievement Spies Among Us, and it was pretty cool. It took me a long time to get that achievement because doing it the legit way is very difficult. Doing it the achievement whoring way, it's very easy. Just say, hey friend, play enemy team, go invisible. Okay. You both go invisible, bump into each other, boom, achievement achieved. Anyway, enough of that side storyness. Let's go back into the seriousness of this Dota match. Because we see 4 people for the Radiant, actually 4 people for the Radiant pushing on top. I wouldn't be surprised if the 5th one did decide to run on up here. This could be a very potent thing for these guys. They don't have a lot of push, but like separately, but together they can do quite a bit as far as controlling a team fight, and that will convert into a push if they are able to stop
has fallen.
people from living on the side of the Dire side. But on the same token, the Dire do have some nice little counter push with the Coddle. The Illuminate is really strong. Stormspeed can zip in. He's always a threat. And Wraith King, he can just go full YOLO. And assuming he has the mana, he can just kind of get in the middle of the fight, force a whole bunch of abilities out on top of him, and then the fight can get reset essentially. Alright, and Terrorblade has illusions they can push too, but I mean, judging by his farm, which actually is looking a little bit better. Jump's coming up on him. Speaking of looking a little bit better, Wraith King not looking better at all. He's also stunned on top of Shadow Demon, and Shadow Demon does get the kill despite the fact that he was stunned up. That purge a little bit too strong, and these guys are just roaming around. They might rotate to try to kill Storm mid, but Storm does still have a zip. Let's see how fast he is on those reactions, because the stuns are coming through, the damage is coming through. Storm does zip away, and Aura's not going to be able to drop anything on top of him. Bloodseeker, no silences. No silences available yet. Just trying to make sure the range didn't increase. Bounty Hunter track, flying on top of Nyx Assassin. Bounty Hunter definitely benefiting from the extra range coming on track. That was one of the previous buffs for Bounty Hunter's ulti. The range is now officially 1200 flat. It used to be like 900, 1000, and then 1200. And it was really weird scaling. Anyway, Terrorblade coming forward, just gonna go full YOLO, not gonna be able to find anything. As he does lose his life, he runs a little bit too far. That's what appearance gets used. Bounty Hunter is gonna be in a lot of trouble. He's gonna be going down. They really need him alive. Dagon comes off for Nyx Assassin. Meanwhile, this tower is looking nice and ripe, ready for the picking. Wraith King ultis up in 20 seconds. Stormspeed and Coddle and Wraith King are all that's left. Viper gets hit with a stun. Not the best of targets to go for because he does have a lot of HP. Actually has a mechanism available. Disruption comes through from Shadow Demon, so he will be able to keep his ally alive. Doombringer looking for ulti. Not going to be able to find it. Trying to find that Storm Spirit. No Storm Spirit to be found right now. Meanwhile, Wraith King going full more YOLO. His ulti is available right now, so he wants to go right in. His team is going to be getting killed on the backside though. Storm Spirit going to lose his life. Coddle getting hit with a nice little spike carapace. And the Radiant's courier actually went down in all the craziness. Wraith King finally going to be going now, coming back alive. And he will be once again going right back down. First hit bash, coming from Bloodseeker, and that is really it for it. I mean, certain things work certain ways, and if you and your team take a moment to think about it, killing Wraith King first is not the best of choices, unless he has no mana. If he has no mana, then go for it. So really intelligent play coming from the Radiant side. They decided to wait to kill the Wraith King last. Meanwhile, Terrorblade, he's coming forward. He wants to go full YOLO. He's trying to get his ulti off, but sadly the ulti is not really as powerful as many people will think it is. And speaking of ultis, Casey is going to be getting hit with the ulti of Shadow Demon and also the ulti of Viper. He'll lose his life to the pretzels. And pretzels on the Shadow Demon, and this is looking very scary because the Radiant, they don't have that great of a lineup as far as going for the late game, but by the looks of this, how this game is going, we're not going to make it to the late game. The Radiant are playing very well, and the Dire have not really responded correctly, in my honest opinion. Terrorblade needs a lot more farm before he can actually carry his team, and Wraith King, he can become a carry. He decided to go for the Hand of Midas, so it's going to delay his big items for a while, but that could possibly be what keeps his team in this, because judging by how Bounty Hunter has been not being able to fall through with the kills, and also judging by the fact that Bounty and Terrorblade both haven't been having the best, Terrorblade and Coddle both haven't been having the best of games. It's really hard to tell who's going to be able to do what on the side of the Dire side. When it's pretty clear cut that the Radiant are playing like a well-oiled machine right now. Bloodseeker's getting his farm, Doombringer's getting his farm, and Viper, he has a mechanism. That's his most impressive thing, but he's working on what looks to be a Mantis style. So at the very least, Storm Spirit is almost out of Orchids, and looking at the rest of the items on the map, we see that the Coddle did manage to finish a mechanism, and I think he's working on probably a 4-staff next. But Storm Spirit is getting chased by this Nyx Assassin. Bounty Hunter's right beside him, or right behind him, just to back him up. And also I just noticed that Terrorblade and Bounty are both building drums, which is usually not what you want to do, but judging by how this game is going for Terrorblade, I can't blame him too much. He wants cheap things that can possibly make the most impact. Meanwhile, Pretzel and Fergus on the side, or representing the Radiant side, are both invisible. They're going to be able to find themselves a Coddle who's going to get murdered right in the face, dies immediately. And he's not feeling very happy about that. He's feeling very upset about that. I'll be very upset too. Thoroughly upset. Doombringer collecting a little bit more gold. And there's been a few debates about whether Doombringer should go for a Hand of Midas or not. His Devourer does give him just as much gold as a Hand of Midas. But I mean, when you're ahead, why not just get more ahead? So Ooh, Doombringer ulti does fly on top of an illusion. They're going to go for it, and they're going to find out illusion. They're going to feel very sad. Meanwhile, on top, Bloodseeker getting chased by a whole bunch of a gaggle of Dire, and they're going to be able to kill him in the face. Chain stun after chain stun. That was track gold as well. Nyx Assassin shows up. I don't know if he really wants to go for it, but he's going to try to see if he can find a bounty hunter. Doombringer's around the backside. Shadow Demon throws out the ulti, flies on top of Wraith King. They're going to go for him first. His ulti's not available right now, so it's actually a perfect target. Storm Spirit zips forward just to make sure he doesn't get caught with anything. Doombringer ulti's down. I don't know if the Dire caught that. But if they did, they will probably turn around and try to go for the fight, which where afterwards they'll probably lose it completely because the mechanism is up on Viper, and Viper is both full HP essentially and full mana. So that means he was ready to fight. But at least the track is on Nyx Assassin, so they have some vision, some thought, or some idea of what the Radiant are trying to do. And speaking of the Radiant and the Dyers knowing what each other's trying to do, the Radiant have all kinds of wards everywhere on the side of the Dire space. It's actually really nice ward coverage. So good kudos to the support. And they also have an observer ward placed near the Roche pit, so I can see if the Dire do decide to run towards Roche. Whereas on the flip side, the Dire, they only have vision on that high ground towards their Ancients, and it's not really going to help them out that much because the Radiant are spending a lot of time in this top lane, which they'll spend a lot of time in the bottom lane now, since that top lane tier 2 tower is down. So the rotations are coming through. Storm Spirit's last hit sitting at 94, as you guys see right there. I wouldn't be surprised if his net worth was among the highest, but not necessarily the highest, because, where's net worth? There is. Yeah, because Bloodseeker and Doombringer have been doing their own share of work, and they've been doing a great job of getting the farm where they need to, and also getting the kills where they need to. And Bloodseeker getting the kills, and Doombringer getting the farm. I heard a Vendetta come up, and I just heard a Blade Mail too. I think I just heard a Blade Mail. Did I just hear a Blade Mail? I totally just heard a Blade Mail. Yeah, Bloodseeker uses Blade Mail. It's crazy. Doesn't work on Ancients. Anyway, Nyx Assassin finds himself a Wraith King. Wraith King's actually going to stand still, take a bunch of damage, loses a lot of mana. Sadly, not enough mana to stop his ulti from coming through. So his ulti is going to be able to come through. Cuddle Illuminate does fly through as well, and Spike Carapace coming from Nyx Assassin. Wraith King does go back into the fray. He's going to try to do what he can. I don't really know where he's at right now. But actually, yeah, Wraith King's running away as fast as he possibly can. Meanwhile, somebody's getting murdered in the corner. Didn't see who it was, but they did officially lose his life. Zoom out a little bit. We got Storm Spirit not trying to fight anymore. Viper does lose his life to the Bounty Hunter, so that's going to be Traco going the way. Mechanism popped on one side. Mechanism popped on the other side. Pretzel looking for an ulti, or looking for something. I think he's looking for a disruption. Wasn't able to find it. Mixed Idiot is going to be able to run away just in time. The track did come on top of Nyx Assassin as well, so they will know where he's at, and Vendetta can come through right this moment. Storm coming forward, looking for a stun, not going to be able to find it. He's stuck in the trees right now. His Blink Dagger is online, he has no Force Staff to speak of, and he's now officially surrounded, gets silenced up as well. He's going to lose his life. His team can come in here to try to save him, but I don't think it's really worth it. There goes down the Wraith King, but he did put up a nice little hefty fight. Forgus almost lost his life. Dagon almost killed him. Oh wait, my bad. I thought Wraith King had a Blade Mail. No, it was just Wraith King's right click. Bounty Hunter in a little bit of trouble. The Dust of Appearance is available. Or no, Jim Machusa is available on top of the Shadow Demon. So nice little pickup for him. And Bloodseeker claims that kill. And speaking of Snowball, we see this Bloodseeker is going to be going for a Sanj and Yasha instead of a Manta style, which is okay. I mean, it's more or less a subpar item, but really, at this point in the game, Bloodseeker does need to survive for a little bit more. And also, the Greater Main will be really nice to have. Really beneficial, but he's getting the extra move speed, so when he does smell blood, he does move pretty darn fast already. And if he does supplement that movement speed with some more damage, and I think that will be perfectly fine. And I think that source of extra damage can come from an A-Blade very easily, or an Abyssal Blade, which he can probably build whenever he wants. BKB might be another consideration for of an item, because we do have the stun coming from Wraith King flying right on top of Bloodseeker already. Deer going to be doing a little bit of damage back to these guys, but he's taking quite a bit of damage. Does officially lose his life. If only he had that BKB. Pretzel might lose his life as well. He does. Oh, beautiful Impale coming over from the Nyx Assassin, keeping his ally alive. Storm Spirit was about to pull on top of that Nyx Assassin. Now we got Nyx Assassin going to lose his life, and he does go down for his troubles, but he kept his ally alive. He kept the Shadow Demon alive, and I think at this point, actually no, I take it back. At this point, Nyx Assassin is more important than Shadow Demon. Because Terrorblade Basically, you can gauge the usefulness of a Shadow Demon at any point in the game based on how powerful the enemy's carries or enemy's people are. And I'll explain that in a few seconds because we got Doombringer about to be going into a rude awakening. Bounty Hunter's right on his tail. Storm Spirit's right around the corner, ready for the kill. There comes the silence right up from Storm Spirit. Here comes the Doombringer, losing his life very slowly but very painfully. He's officially dead. Gets essentially blown up. A lot of people required to kill him, but at the very least, the gold does go towards the Dire, and by gold I mean track gold. And if you look at that gold graph, it's probably not that far from one another. And actually it is very far, about a 10k gold lead in favor of the Radiant, but the gold is going to be coming back down pretty darn sharply because those tracks will start to add up. And I think we're gonna eventually reach a point where the Dire are gonna reach an awkward moment where Bloodseeker can't carry hard enough and Viper doesn't really do much, and they're gonna really need Doombringer to step up with his right click, which it's more or less difficult. It's about as reliable as a Bloodseeker snowballing pretty hard. It's not that reliable. That's what I'm trying to get at. And quite honestly, like I said before, the mid game potential coming out from the Radiant is pretty darn strong. But the late game, I think I would definitely have to give it to the Dire, mainly because they had the Terrorblade, despite the fact he's doing pretty badly, relatively speaking, and they also had the Wraith King, who, despite the fact that he's doing pretty badly as well, he does still have crit. He does have some decent farm right now. If he does get some more damage, like if he gets a little bit more strength to make himself a lot harder to kill, or if he gets himself an AC to just get negative armor on top of everybody and also make himself a little bit more survivable, then he could just wreck everybody's face pretty darn fast. Oh right, and the attack speed. That's another important factor. So Nyx Assassin, focus on this Nyx Assassin, fishing for a few kills. He does have his Dagon at level 3, so we'll do a decent amount of damage. You can see right there, 600 damage. So by the time we do reductions, that does about, what's it, 25 times 6? That's 150, so it does about 450 damage. Actually, up top we got somebody getting caught off. Viper does go down. Screw your magic immunity, bro, because we got magic resistance, bro, because we got too much magic for you. Meanwhile, Wraith King finds a stun on the backside. Shiva's Guard comes up from Doombringer, slowing down Wraith King. Wraith King wants to die as fast as possible because his ulti is available. Meanwhile, Bloodseeker ulti does come through. I don't know who laying on top of, but we got Doombringer about to lose his life here. Terrorblade doing quite a bit of work, finally showing up for his team, helping out with the right clicks. And there's officially a dead Doombringer. Meanwhile, we got Wraith King getting focused by the Nyx Assassin. He's trying to get him down. Not going to be enough. That is only a level 3. Only a level 3 mana burn. Wraith King doesn't have all that much HP, or doesn't have all that much mana. And speaking of not having that much mana, he runs out of mana just in the nick of time. Sad. Wraith King is sad. Bloodseeker trying to run away. He does smell blood, so he's going to be moving pretty darn fast. And we got Shadow Demon on the flip side of everything. Actually, we got Wraith King. Everything. We got. Whoa. Okay. Terrorblade panicked. Terrorblade panicked pretty darn hard. He ultied when he did not need to ulti at all, because Bloodseeker was pretty darn low. He was just trying to get a nuke, and it worked right against his will. So in that fight, if Terrorblade would have just left his HP where it was and just started right-clicking Bloodseeker, he might have been able to get the kill. Although that would have been questionable because I think Shadow Demon was there to back him up, and I'm pretty sure Shadow Demon had a disruption available. And speaking of disruption, I was mentioning this before. Wait, hold on, before we do it, we got Storm Spirit zipping all the way in on top of this Nyx Assassin, who does officially go down. Storm Spirit, or Mix Idiot, my bad. Mix Idiot on the Storm Spirit, just doing what he can to keep his team in this game, and the people who are doing the work on the side of the Dire at this point are kind of the Storm Spirit and more or less the Wraith King. He's been able to get a few decent engagements, although most of his engagements have not been the most ideal, and he has run out of mana at the most awkward moments in the game. But that's the danger. It's the danger of facing against somebody like a Nyx Assassin, or maybe even an anti-mage, or even a lion who can just take your mana. Bounty Hunter stalking his prey. Storm Spirit zips all the way forward. We got Shadow Demon ulti getting used. He did see the Bounty Hunter just in time. It looks like Casey will be taking a little bit of damage, so it doesn't really matter. Bloodseeker ulti flies, and we got Casey going to be going down. Bloodseeker claiming all of that gold. Meanwhile, speaking of claiming gold, we got Terrorblade about to be getting claimed as gold, getting chased by a few people. Nice little blinding light coming from Kato. He will try to TP out as fast as he possibly can. No disruption. Disruption does come through just in time, and this is going to be a dead Terrorblade. He officially loses his life. Back to the Underscapers where he goes. Nyx Assassin coming through, Vendetta up, looking for a kill. He has his Dagon up, but he will be getting scouted out by the creeps, and I think he will know that there's a detection here because he will be getting right-clicked.
Dire's bottom tower is on its way further down.
So speaking of towers, I took a look at the gold graph before, And we saw that was 10,000 gold in favor of the Radiant. It's roughly 9,000 gold in favor of the Radiant, so they'll keep it a decent hole in the gold graph. XP graph showing essentially the same thing. But if we want to balance out the towers, because right now the favor is... oh, we got a fight happening. We got Wraith King coming right into the middle of the fight. He officially goes down. I think a lot of abilities are used on Storm Spirit. Going to be getting hit with that Bloodseeker ulti. That's taking quite a bit of damage. And now Storm on that Wraith King is going to try to do what he can to see if he can find a stun. I don't know if he'll be able to find an opening, though, because the Radiant are playing pretty darn far back. Nyx Assassin already tracked up premeditatively. And Storm on that Wraith King blinks forward. Looking for a right click, not going to be able to find it. Oh, not looking for a right click, looking for a stun. Storm Spirit zipping all the way forward, finds some of Nyx Assassin, trying to go for a blow up. He does not get it just in time because we got Disruption flying just in time. Nyx Assassin still alive in the middle of the fight. I don't know why he's still alive, but he is officially still alive. Coddle, Illuminate, not going to land. Terrorblade and crew trying to run away. Terrorblade getting body blocked very, very, very professionally by that Coddle. And now we got Bounty Hunter BKB popped, but it doesn't really matter because he's still taking too much right click. Triple kill for that Doombringer. Coddle going to be losing his life here very soon. And I think it's pretty much all but over. The Radiant have been stomping all over the face of the Dire this whole entire game. And the Dire have been doing what they can to try to push back. But really, when it comes down to it, Wraith King does not have enough farm to actually contest these guys, and Storm Spirit needs more support from his allies to actually do anything. Luckily, Storm Spirit does have himself a Lincoln's coming up, so it's going to be beneficial versus something like a Bloodseeker ult or a Doombringer ult, but not both. Not both.
Say goodbye to Dire's middle barracks. No more middle barracks for Dire. Radiant's top tower needs bandages.
So to the benefit of the Dire, the creeps are pushing the top lane. So that's really, or pushing in their favor on the top lane, so that's really good. That's going to stymie some aggression coming up from the Radiant for the meantime. But in the meantime, they could just go for Roche, which is exactly what they're going to be doing. Running towards that Roche pit, or maybe they're all just going bottom. Can't really tell. Okay, Roche it is. Blade Mail getting pots. Also, the Sound's getting thrown on top of Bloodseeker himself, so he can do a little bit more damage. Hitting at 435 damage, which is quite a bit. That's just pure right click. There's a great meme going through. Casey trying to come around the corner, see if he can find anybody. He does not want to walk into this pit right now because Shadow Demon does have that Geometry Sight. Aegis does go down, so I think Bounty did collect a little bit of XP. We got the Aegis going to be going towards the Bounty, or going towards the Bloodseeker. Meanwhile, Wraith King loses his life to the Shadow Demon during all that craziness. And the Blink Wraith King is really nice for trying to get yourself some engagements, but not with this build. I think Blink Wraith King is more akin to somebody who wants to go for ganking strat. And I'll be quite honest with you. I think a Blink Wraith King needs to go for a Dagon or Dagon 4-staff, so that way they can just like blink in, throw out a stun, throw out a Dagon, right click you like 2 times, and pray to Jesus that you're dead. And if you're not dead at that point, he can die and come back alive and try to do it all over again. But with his current build, it's kind of a little all over the place. He's trying to go for some attack speed, which is coming from the Hand of Midas and also the Maelstrom. But it's not enough because he doesn't have enough HP to actually go toe-to-toe with these guys. Viper has too much HP for Wraith King to actually kill him. Bloodseeker at this point is a little bit too tanky for Wraith King to actually kill him with a few right clicks. Doombringer, he's the definition of tanky right now because he does have a lot of armor, which is one thing that Doombringer naturally... wait, hold on. Storm Spirit up top, gonna be going down. But Doombringer, he's a definition of tanky right now because his biggest weakness is that his armor is pretty darn crappy. Shiva's Guard giving him the whole entire 15 armor, and Vladimir's offering giving him the other 5 that you see in his plus 22. And I think we're about to come to a very end here very soon because all the Radiant really had to do was just death march mid, and they could possibly end the game with like maybe 1 or 2 more team fights. But down bottom, we got Deer on that Bloodseeker coming forward, throwing the ulti right on top of Storm already. And Storm going to stand still, gets first hit bash. The TPs are coming through. Nice little stun coming out from him, trying to make sure Deer stands still for a few more seconds. There's ulti from Wraith King. He blinks away immediately. They're trying to go for the chase. I don't know if this is the most wisest thing in the world, but they feel confident that they can do this, and they do, or they just might in fact lose their lives if they do try to go for it. But we got the Dire going in full chase mode. Wraith King blinks forward, throws out a stun. BKB getting popped by Viper, so he forced a 10-second BKB from Viper, so that's really good. Meanwhile, top we got Terrorblade just giving up completely, and I'm pretty sad to see that his pride is hurt that much. But to be fair, he was getting pretty darn handled, and he did lose a lot. And speaking of losing a lot, Coddle pays the ultimate price, loses his life in all his fights, all these fights. Deer, Nyx Assassin, and Viper. Deer, Nyx Assassin, Viper. Bloodseeker, Nyx Assassin, and Viper were the ones that claimed his life. Actually, I think, yeah, Shadow Demon's there. And here comes a 5-man push. This is exactly what I wanted to see. The second lane of Rex just might be falling down here very soon. The ultis are available on the side of the Radiant. Nyx Assassin currently in his own ulti. He is level 17, so his ulti is going to be on the exact cooldown as his duration. He's actually going to try to engage on top of Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit does get away just in time. Actually, here comes the Orcus on top of Nyx Assassin. A lot of damage coming towards the Storm. Or sorry, a lot of damage coming towards coming towards the Nyx Assassin. And Wraith King going to be able to finish out that kill, and he does officially lose his life for all his trolls, but he's going to come back alive. And here comes Doom and crew trying to get that right click off. The Shadow Demon ulti does fly through, so the Purge is going to be the real Storm Spirit or Storm on that Wraith King, taking a bunch of damage, taking a bunch of damage. Does do a little bit of damage. Casey on that bounty hunter, not going to be able to go invisible. He's running as fast as he possibly can. No aggro scepter on top of his Doombringer, so this won't be an endless Doom. We got the Fountain Dive going through, Bloodseeker claiming the kill and walking on out while towers focus him the whole entire time. But like I said, guys, this game is pretty much all but over. We're just waiting for the Radiant to continue with their push and go for the Ancient. They're going to go ahead and probably get Megas first. It would seem that the Dire could possibly put out one more good fight. But even then, it wouldn't. I mean, it'll still be in the favor of the Radiant, despite the fact that Nyx Assassin's dead. Because Doombringer ulti, well, it's not up right now, but his ulti will be up in 55 seconds, which is probably when the next fight will happen. Actually, no, probably happen here very soon. 20 seconds time. Coddle, it's gonna be giving up. Just stand still in the fountain, and these guys are gonna go ahead and fountain farm him, as people usually do. Storm Spirit might get a kill on top of his Bloodseeker. First hit bash or second hit bash. Bloodseeker, Aegis getting popped. And the pull from Storm Spirit is available. He's going to go ahead and use it as soon as he possibly can. Actually, yeah, there it goes. The pull does come through. Bloodseeker going to lose his life. Deer dying for a grand total of 1,139 gold. Ancient going to be taking some damage here very soon. Wraith King coming forward. Melnir is finished up completely. He wants to go full man mode, full baller mode. A little bit of damage coming towards Viper. Viper doing way more damage than Wraith King can actually take. And Wraith King does officially go down. Meanwhile, Bounty Hunter going to be BKBing, but it doesn't really matter when the right clicks are coming through like this. And he is officially dead. Jim on the ground. Storm on that. It's like Storm on that Doombringer. Yeah, Storm on that Wraith King. He's officially dead. And the Ancient's exposed. The Ancient takes damage, and the Ancient will be going down. And we'll zoom out a little bit just to see if the Dire decides to try to defend for one last ditch effort. Look at Storm's going to zip out as far as he possibly can. He is here. He is officially the party. He zips in and Ancient explodes, and that's how the game ends, guys. So that is it for this game. This game was sent in by Pretzel, who was playing the Shadow Demon. So thank you, Pretzel, for sending this game. It was a very interesting game. One-sided once you started getting to that point where Wraith King and Terrorblade weren't doing as well as they probably should have been. But, you can't win all the games. You can't lose all the games. So I guess we should probably expect that. But it was an interesting game nonetheless, because I did get to see a Blink Dagger Wraith King, and I did get to finally logic out why the most effective Blink Dagger Wraith King, which I still think the most effective Blink Dagger Wraith King is Blink Dagger, Dagon, and maybe a Veil of Discord to increase your magic damage. But the main reason a lot of people like to go for Blink Dagger or for Blink Dagger and Wraith King is so that they can blink in and drop that stun, which his stun is really good. 8-second cooldown. Essentially a 4-second duration on top of the enemy. It's 2 seconds of a stun and then 2 seconds of a slow. And in the meantime, it costs 140 mana, which is a lot of mana, which is why he needs the mana to actually back it up. So a lot of times, I keep saying it, you see Wraith Kings who go for Blink Daggers, go for more mana based things like Arcane Boots, Force Staff, Tornado Stick, Necro Book even, and of course the one, the only other item that I mentioned, which I forgot what it was. Dagon, yeah. Dagon. So anyway, outside of that though, Na'Vi and Alliance. Okay, apparently Na'Vi and Alliance were playing. I think my console's bugged. But the people on the Dire side, for the most part, weren't playing as a team, and that's kind of what it fell down to. Terrorblade couldn't get the farm that he wanted. Storm Spirit, he did well mid. He did decent to keep this game as close as it was. And I think Bounty Hunter, despite the fact that Bounty Hunter died 9 times, he did do what he could to try to help his team pull back into it. But what it really boiled down to is that the Radiant were just outplaying the Dire, and that's pretty much it. So once again, thank you, Pretzel, on that Shadow Demon, for sending this game in. I will be sure to let you know that I casted it, so that it'll get posted and you'll be able to see it. So outside of that, that's it for this video, guys. If you guys want to check out some of my other stuff, I do a vlog. So I have Cool Blue Vlogs, which is youtube.com/coolbluevlogs, CULBLU vlogs. I do vlogs about random things, and the reason why I do that is because I like casting Dota, I like commentating for Dota, but also want to talk to people every once in a while. So I decided, hey, why not do vlogs about things like the competitive scene or opinions of this, and ooh, look what I bought. So in order to make sure that I don't upset the people who like my Dota stuff, in order to make sure I keep the videos going that I want to keep going, I decided to split it to 2 channels. So I have 2 channels, a commentary channel for Dota Cast, which is this channel, youtube.com/coolbluedota, that's CULBLU Dota, and a vlogs channel, which is that other channel. And also have a Casters Network, which is Casters Network, a channel created to help casters come together, collect, collaborate, and create with one another. And the goal of that channel is to promote casters and also put out tips, tricks, and hints for people who want to get into the caster scene or want to get into the pretty much anything scene. It's just general tips on how to make content decently. So that's it, youtube.com/castnetyt, CASNETYT. Those links will be annotated on this video because I will remember to do those. And that's really it. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave comments down in the comment section below. Like this video if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it. And that's all for this video. So my name is Cool Blue. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you guys whenever.